Hi, how are you? Welcome. Thank you for joining me. This is the turkey cutout, okay? I have some, it's a layered turkey, okay? There's several pieces, and I think you're gonna like this one for Thanksgiving. So come hang out with me just for a little while, and we're gonna get this sucker painted up. And I have this cute little tiny Thanksgiving transfer. So this is gonna be perfect for our turkey. It comes with this sign. As you can see, this little shiplap sign is just perfect for that transfer. So come on, let's hang out just for a little bit, and then you guys can get back to your Friday night, or pre-Friday night, excuse me, y'all. I'm already jumping ahead, okay? I guess it's the weekend for me already. Hi, Lisa. Hi, Stephanie. Keyword is turkey. Let's see. Oh, gosh. If I can type, my gut. I'm like the worst right now typing. Okay, so I've got some little paints out here, okay? I have some different colors, some orange, some red, a brown. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to put a little bit of this brown here for his body, okay? So I want to do the back part of his, so the body is layered in two parts. So I'm going to paint the back part of his body. In fact, I already had this color. So I stuck this in my, this paintbrush already in my water thing, but I already had this brown on a paintbrush, so I might as well use it. Because I did the very back. There's like several layers to this guy. Okay, I already painted this very far back layer, the dark brown that I'm using now. And I was thinking, hopefully this will work well, that I could do this first back layer of his body brown, and then maybe add just a little bit of white to that brown and lighten it up for the front part of his body with his head. Hi, Laura. Hi, Lisa. What's going on? Hi, Sandra. Hi, Tammy. All right, so I've got water all over me. Y'all, I'm not good to my brushes. Please be better to your brushes than I am. I'm horrible. Horrible. Hi, Alma. How are you? Welcome. So yeah, I don't know. I was just thinking it was already Friday. So I guess tomorrow, I don't know. Tomorrow's Friday. It's pre-Friday. Hi, Joanne. How are you? Welcome. All right, I'm going to add a little bit more brown to my color tray. And then I'm going to try and mix in just a little bit of white and see if we can't. Hey, Lisa, are you new here? I don't know if I've ever seen you comment on a live. If you are, make sure that you say hello. Let me know where you're from. All right, so I just mixed in just a tiny bit of white, okay, just to lighten it up just a little bit. It's like not even that much lighter, but it's a little bit lighter. It looks like a milk chocolate brown now, okay? Just to give a little bit of dimension. Now, his eyes are engraved. So we'll have to come back and give him a couple of little eyes with a paint pen, okay? Hi, Christine, how are you? Welcome, Lisa, so happy to have you here. All right, and I'm a mess with paint all over me now, so let me get this over here. Hi, Joanne, how are you? All right, so let me get this out of my way too, so that I'm not making a huge mess. All right, now I have this French linen. You know I love this home decor chalk paint. And I'm going to use this for my sign, okay? So we have this little shiplap sign. It's got a frame on it and everything, okay? So I'm going to just use my handy dandy, one of my makeup sponges. Don't look at my nails. I painted them last night and it's already like wearing off. So that just goes to show that I need to stick with my regular nails that I normally use. So I love red aspen, y'all. I don't know if any of you use press-ons, but I'm obsessed with red aspen nails. So I found a girl that sells it, and I buy from her like once every couple of months. I buy several sets, and then I just go through them like every 2 or 3 weeks I change them out. Well, I headed to St. Louis on Monday, and as I was getting my bag off of the plane, I broke a nail and it like flew across the plane. No idea where it went because I jammed it on my suitcase. And so I'm like, oh no, because I had meetings and I was meeting people like the top guy. Yeah, I feel much better being home. So I was meeting like one of the top guys in our organization for the very first time in person, and I wanted to make a good impression, and I can't be missing a nail. And so I'm like, okay, let me go find a drugstore. So on the way to my hotel, I went by a Target because they had a CVS inside, and I found some like these nails. Okay, they're just press-ons. Hi, Sue. And so I went back to my hotel and I fixed my nails, but they were like, it said on the package that they were like natural, but they are just basically clear, okay? Not completely clear, but like a opaque kind of clear. And so that first day, I wore these, or I guess both days at the office, I wore these basically clear nails, and I was so self-conscious about them because you could see like the glue underneath and the bubbles. It wasn't bubbles, but like you could see where the glue had dried. It looked horrible, I thought. From far away, they weren't bad, but they were awful. And so last night, I had thought that I had nail polish in my bag, because I usually, in my makeup bag, I carry nail polish. Like, I have a whole system, okay? I bring my makeup and stuff, but I have a separate set of certain things that I keep in my suitcase to travel with for situations like that. If I need to touch up my nails, I can quickly do it. And I couldn't find my nail polish, and I'm like, oh my gosh. So then the second day while we're at the office, I am digging through my purse looking for some chapstick, and I find my nail polish. Hi, Marie, how are you? So I'm like, I'm painting these. They're driving me crazy. They're making me very self-conscious. And so I painted them, but now they're like, I don't know if you can see that, but like the tips of them, the paint is wearing off, and it is making me crazy, y'all. And obviously the normal press-ons that I used are not painted, and they're the same color through and through. So I gotta go back. So once these like start popping off, I'll be done with them. All right, so now we have this gray color for our little shiplap sign. We have these little feet for him, and I guess his feet are gonna be yellow, along with his legs. I think that's okay. For our little turkey. So let me see if I can have this other little tray that works great for just little bits of paint. I'm just going to use, I'm going to use a paintbrush. Normally I would use my sponges, but we have some, let me show you, his feathers that need to be painted, and I'm going to use a paintbrush for that. So I figured that I could just use paintbrushes on this project, on most of it anyway. Hi, Melissa. How are you? So I have this turkey, and he actually stands up. So the feet right here have stands in them. And this is the like second layer. Okay, so it's layered, like it has 3 layers. So there's this back layer. So that's the very back. And then you've got his colorful feathers, and then his body and everything. And he has a sign. We're going to make this little Happy Thanksgiving sign on him. So he's going to be holding that sign. Okay, it's going to be real cute. Perfect, like, Thanksgiving table decor. And, y'all, I'm so ready for fall. It is so stinking hot here. And whenever we left, I don't know if I told y'all this the other night whenever I went on my live, but whenever I left Houston, I got on the plane, and it took them a little bit longer than normal, or than they expected, to load the bags. And so we sat there for an extra like 30 minutes, and the plane didn't have the air on yet. It wasn't like It wasn't blasting air. The air was barely coming out of the vents. And it was so hot. Ooh, I love that idea. I should have done that, but I was literally in my hotel room, like, trying to figure it out, Marie. So, and yeah, I have so I use Sally Hansen whenever I do paint my nails. I use that Sally Hansen, it's like fake gel polish, okay? And it lasts a long time. Normally, regular nail polish on my regular nails chips pretty much right away. I don't even use regular nail polish because it will just immediately chip off. And so I have the clear coat that goes over it. Lisa, did you not get the message initially? It looks like it might have sent you a message. I'm not sure. Hi, Cindy. I know. We're looking forward to seeing you too. Chris and I both should be there. Hopefully he will get off work in time, but if not, I will be there for sure. Okay. Let me see. Oh, my favorite little tiny brush from Dollar Tree. Love it. I'm gonna just paint his little, whatever this little thing is called that hangs down from his mouth. You know. That little, I don't know, it's like a little gobbler thing. It's not his neck, but you know. Anyways, I don't know my words all the time, okay? For things. I have no idea. All right. Let's see, what else do we have? I think we're good here now. So I'm gonna just move this over here, and we have our turkey. He needs, okay, so I have, let's see. I've got this orange, I have the yellow that we just used, I have red, and I have like this is called Mars Orange. So I have these 4. There are 9 feathers, okay? So we're gonna use, we're gonna go in a pattern. Ugh, this paint. This one is super old. This is like, it's called Bella. It works really great still. But that paint is so old. I opened it a minute ago and it had like a big chunk of paint blocking the entrance. So, all right. I think I want to start with the orange though on this one. So I'm going to do one color at a time because I'm a little bit afraid. Now I'm just going to bring this paint in just a little bit, okay, on each of these feathers, and then we'll see where we end up, okay? I might need to paint a little bit more, but I think his body should cover it in the center there, hopefully. All right, and then this Mars Orange color is interesting. Oh, that's perfect for fall. I like that. It's kind of a rust color. All right, here we go. Just drag that in just a little bit, just so we don't have any blank space, okay? And then we will come around and let's go for this red right here. Ooh, this is a nice red. It's like a cranberry red. It's so good. All right, I need more. I just love this paint, and it was real cheap on Amazon. All right. And then again, let's try to drag that in there just a little bit. Here we go. Just like that. All right. Oh, I did kind of, like that whenever it popped off, but like, you know how you're anxious when people are behind you? I don't know about y'all, but I am very anxious whenever people are behind me and I'm like holding up traffic or whatever. I get real nervous, especially when, you know, I know people are anxious to get off of a plane. So my nail pops off. There was absolutely no way I was going to make everybody help me look for it or look for it in general. Plus, like, I'm not trying to let everybody know, hey, my press-on nail just flew off somewhere random. And I was ready to get off that plane after sweating and just in general, just the aggravation of flying. I don't hate flying, but I don't love flying. I'd rather fly than drive, okay? But I'm very impatient. I don't like being trapped in a vessel where I can't like get up early and walk around. My butt starts like getting like hurting, like from sitting on it in the same place for too long, you know? Where I'm ready to get up, you know? So I try to sit at the front of the plane as far up as I can, like between like 9 and 11, if I can possibly be that close to the front, and in the aisle, because then you get a little more leg room. Yeah, I was really trying hoping no one would notice, and like horrified that the people that come and clean the plane after you get off of it are gonna have to vacuum up a nail, or maybe they miss it and somebody riding on the plane after me is gonna see it and be like, oh my God, someone left a nail right there on the floor. I don't know. Hopefully it didn't have any identifying information. So, normally I prefer Southwest, but now that I'm back in Houston, I live on the north side, and so I usually fly out of Intercontinental, which Southwest is at Intercontinental now, but they don't have a whole bunch of flights. Normally they're at a Hobby, and so which is on the south side and too far for me to be going. So I've been using United a lot, which is not bad. They're not bad, okay? As long as the only thing that really sucks about United is that if you don't buy the upgraded economy flight, you don't get a carry-on. And then you have to check your bags, and if you check your bags, you have to pay for it. And for me, Southwest, I never pay for bags. I can take 2 huge bags and check them, plus my 2 carry-ons. And so with United, sometimes they have small planes. Like today, whenever we came back from St. Louis, it was a small plane. And if you have a carry-on at all, they do a gate check because it won't fit in the overhead bin, which is fine. They don't charge you for it. But you still have to check, you end up checking your bag a lot of the time. Now, sometimes, like on the way there, it was a bigger plane. And so I didn't have to check my bag. There was plenty of room in the overhead bins. But, y'all, it's just... And the seats are a little bit smaller on the United flights sometimes. And I mean, I fly with Southwest a lot, or I used to, and I try to now, but, so I've got, status with Southwest. So, I get to get on the plane first and all that with Southwest. With United, I have no status. And so I'm like group 4, but I try to still buy myself a good seat, at least with that. With not having status, it doesn't matter on United because you can still buy a good seat. It is nuts. I don't understand how they get away with charging that much for baggage, especially when Southwest doesn't, and they have comparable rates. It's not like Southwest is a lot more expensive or anything. But yeah, the cost of paying for baggage is absolutely ridiculous. And I mean, I would rather pay a little bit more even to fly Southwest and not pay for bags. Isn't that silly? Because it's just better for me. Plus, I mean, not that they have good customer service. Their flight attendants are really nice. You know, the people at the gate are always pretty nice. But Southwest has the best customer service too. And they're funny. Like, their pilots are funny. They joke around. they do funny stuff whenever they're doing like the safety, you know, I like that, you know, I think it's fun. Yeah. But, I mean, United's not bad. I'm not saying that they're bad, okay? But they could be better. Now, I do, so because I have status with Southwest, I get internet on the plane for free, which is cool. But on United, because I have T-Mobile as my phone carrier, I get internet on the plane for free, which is cool. So that's nice on both airlines. Plus, like, on United, you automatically get messaging. So, like, Facebook Messenger works. Even if you, as long as you just connect to their Wi-Fi, even if you don't have internet, even if they don't give you internet service, you can use messaging apps like that. So that's neat. But sometimes their internet doesn't work. Like, today, the plane didn't even have internet. So you couldn't even connect and like watch, you know, they've got like their free movies and TV and stuff like that you can watch usually through the app, but they didn't even have that today. So people were bored, which is fine, whatever. I usually sleep for the first like 30 minutes. Okay, so there's my little turkey, okay, his feathers. Now he needs to dry just a little bit more, but we can start putting some of him together. Now, let me pull all of this over here so you can see exactly how this little cutie is going to go together. This one's going to be real cute too, I think. Really excited about him. All right. And then we have the back piece. Okay, so this is the back piece I was talking about that I went ahead and pre-painted that before I started. Just because it was just one color. It wasn't anything fancy. Okay, so that's all of his pieces. Now, let me make a little bit of room here on my desk so that I can do this design on the back, on this shiplap part. And then, I mean, y'all, this project's pretty quick. I was expecting it to be a little bit more, but it's really not. So here's the shiplap piece that we're going to use. I just painted it like 1.5 times really with that, I think it's French linen is the color that I use. It's just like a grayish brown, which I really like. I love this project though. I'm real pumped about it. So I am going to sand this just a little bit so that it's a nice smooth surface for my transfer to go onto, which it's not required, of course, but that way it just helps. If there's any kind of... Okay, Christine, have a great night. Thank you for joining me. That way I just make sure that there's no like little burrs. Sometimes the paint will leave a little burr on the surface, and if you just sand it just slightly, you won't have that. Plus your wax will go on really nice and smoothly. Okay, I am waxing just a little bit, and I can feel how smooth it is, and I love that. All right, so then this is our transfer. It says Happy Thanksgiving, and it's an A size, which I just love. By the way, you can comment the word turkey. You can get all the stuff to make this yourself. Okay. And I'm gonna wax, fuzz it as well as I can, okay? And we're not gonna do anything super, out of this world on this transfer, okay? But some of it does hang off a little bit, so you just want to line that up, okay? And keep in mind that there is a little frame that you can use. You don't have to use the frame, okay? But I think I'm gonna use it tonight, hopefully. Let's just make sure that I'm gonna just move this over just a tiny bit so that the G is not cut off entirely. And I'm just laying this down to just make sure that I'm getting, so that you can still read the words with the little thing in. So this is Saffron. It's one of the new colors. Uh-oh. That just popped the nail off right there. Although these they have stayed on pretty well, okay? They're not, And they're a little thicker than normal, which is okay. Sometimes, I don't know if y'all ever get acrylic nails or whatever, but these are like the thickness of acrylic, and I'm not really digging it that much. My other ones are real thin, which is good. And I just noticed, like, whenever I scratch myself, like, I'll leave claw marks on myself with these because it's like really getting in there. But with the other ones, it's not so bad. Whenever like, if I itch my leg or something, I end up leaving like bad claw marks, so I gotta be careful. Okay, so this is saffron. I'm doing this whole transfer with saffron. Okay, I'm not gonna change it out for the different colors. Now there's leaves and stuff on here, and you could absolutely go in, you know, we have that new moss color, the green, we have cherry, even like harvest shimmer would be really nice on this. But I'm gonna just go right in with saffron on the whole thing. I think it'll be nice. Plus, it'll be a good seasonal looking, you know, the fall. This yellow is like a nice mustard yellow. I really like it a lot. I'm not really a yellow fan or a mustard color fan either, but I really like this one. All right. Put that over there, and let me close this really quick. Hi, Bobby. How are you? Welcome. All right. Dryer. Make it dry. Okay. And that is all. This transfer is so cute. It has got a lot of little leaves and greenery on it. I mean, you could even like go in there and watercolor inside of the leaves and stuff. Like, you could put down a green or even a black, and then go back and get some paste and water it down and watercolor the leaves. That would be really nice. I'm doing great. Thank you so much for joining me. All right, but I'm gonna just leave it as is because I really like it. I think the rest of this thing is gonna have enough color on it that it's all gonna come together really nicely. Okay, so I have my Eileen's glue, and I think this one's a new one. I bought some new ones. Here's my thing, and try to remember where I put my scissors. There. Just chop that little thing off the top. And we'll go ahead and put on our frame. So this part, I did paint this the same color, okay? That like French linen color. I'm gonna try my best to not overdo it with the glue, okay? And I always say that every night, I know I do. And then I still overdo it with the glue, okay? But again, that's why I love this glue. It dries clear. So if it does pop through, you're not gonna have any, you won't notice it after it's dry, okay? But that doesn't mean that you have to just pile it on like I do, but I do it anyway, every day. Every single day. All right. And that's perfect. So remember, I did line this up, okay? And the frame is just, it hangs over just a little, okay? So you can kind of move it around a little bit. But I did try to make sure with the transfer on that it was gonna, that my frame wasn't gonna cover up my words too much, okay? Because I want you to still be able to read the sign, obviously, that my little turkey's gonna be holding. That's the whole point, right? Okay, so let's put this little guy together. Oh my gosh, so cute. I have a little bit of a spot that I just slightly, just right here on this edge. It's like on the corner that just got overlooked. So just touch that up a little. And then, so again, I always like to put my stuff together dry, okay, before I move forward, just to be sure that everything is going to work appropriately. Now, on our little feet, this, let me show you. So there's 1 foot for each side with a hole in it, okay? So there are 2 regular feet. Those are gonna go on the bottom because this is a stand, okay? So, I think, let me just make sure before I say it out loud. I don't think they line up perfectly. Like, I don't think they're interchangeable. So make sure that you have the right foot together. Does that make sense? And I'm just gonna put a little bit of glue here. I don't wanna put glue in the holes, okay? Because it's a stand and I don't think we're gonna need to glue it. Now we might. I love this glue though because it gives you a second to just be sure. And then it holds really, really well. So you can kind of move your stuff around a little bit before you're really committed, which I usually need because I'm bad at lining stuff up pretty regularly. Now, with these feet, and I'll show you here in just a minute whenever we finish, but there's one that goes on like, these go on certain sides is what I'm trying to say, but I can't say it properly. Okay, oh my gosh, look how cute he is. I can't stand him, he's so cute. That's how I feel about Dozer too. Like, I just look at him and I'm like, dude, I don't know why you're so cute, but I just can't stand you. Because you're adorable. And I'm also seeing, I don't think I need to come back and add eyes because he does have little eyes that are, they're already engraved on him, and the paint really didn't affect his eyes. So I'm not going to go back and dot eyes on there like I thought I was going to have to. Now, I have my glue gun ready, okay, because I'm gonna hot glue some of this. I'm not hot gluing all of it, but I'm gonna use a little bit of Eileen's and some hot glue on, oh, that doesn't need it. Like on this part and on the big part, okay? On the, uh-oh. I don't know what's happening with my video, but I'm back. All right. Here we go. So that way I don't think that anything will happen that I need extra glue support, but just in case, because this thing's gonna be heavy, okay, with several layers and a sign hanging on it. So just cross your fingers for me that this is gonna hold, that the feet are gonna be, I think it'll be enough support for it. But if not, I might have to edit this before I cut and send it to any of you all. All right. Because I haven't actually glued it together yet and tried it. I think it will work, but we're gonna find out together, I guess, tonight. Okay. Now, get this bad boy stuck on. He is so handsome. Look at him. I mean, what a little cutie patootie. Look at him. Isn't he cute? All right, now for the final touches. Oh my goodness. What a little adorable guy. All right, now, again, I'm going to, let me do Eileen's first. I mean, I don't know if this is really adding anything, but I like to think it will. Just a little bit of glue there. Get them all stuck on. That is perfect. Okay, and again, you can comment the word turkey to get all the stuff to make this, okay? That's the transfer and the turkey cutout on sale. Okay, isn't that so cute? All right, now let's figure out, I think it's gonna, yeah. Okay, so his little feet, you don't want him to be pigeon-toed, okay? My mom taught me a long time ago that a lady does not stand pigeon-toed. It's not cute. So I need to let this dry a little bit more because it's, like I said, very heavy. And taking just a second to, but so his little feet line up with the legs, okay? And sorry, he's still trying to dry here. Okay, let's see if that's gonna do it. He was sliding around a second ago. He still kind of is. Let's see. Oh, it's because I didn't use hot glue. Look at that, see? Eileen's was not strong enough to be holding all this weight up front. He's got a badonkadonk, but in the front, y'all. Okay. All right, let's see. Now, oh, making him pigeon-toed here. So we want his feet to be facing outwards. So, oh my goodness gracious. I don't know if my heart can handle this, okay? But look how stinking cute this guy is. Now, this, you might want to glue these feet on, but my thoughts are that you might not, because you might want to take him and let him be put away and separate his feet. So consider that whenever you're putting him together. You can glue it on because it stands fine. But whenever you go to pick this up, one of the feet may not, one or both of the feet may not stay in that little slot, but it stands great. So check out my little turkey. I guess we're gonna call this one Thomas, okay? This is Thomas the turkey. He is ready to decorate your Thanksgiving table. And I think he's super cute. So make sure that you give me some hearts. Share this post, of course, and comment the word turkey to get your own. Okay? All right, y'all. Look how cute he is. I can't stand him. He's so cute. And he stands up perfect. All right. I love you all. Make sure that you join my VIP group so that you don't miss a thing. Oh, you know what? One last thing. Let's really quick. Oh, no, Joanne. I don't know what's going on. It was buffering a second ago. You know I like to do this. I don't know what it is, but this just makes me feel like these projects are done once. Let's see if I can. There we go. All right, and then, there we go. Now, he's done. Add a little bit of razzle dazzle, you know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. Love you all. Have a wonderful night. We will talk soon. Make sure that you send me a message if you have any questions, okay? Love you guys. Have a great Friday tomorrow, too.